Aloha. My name is Susan Gregg, in case you don't know. And it's been a long time since I've made a video. I've been playing with two of my favorite, but not particularly expansive, belief systems, procrastination and perfection. Wanted to make an absolutely perfect video. I bought a program for my iPhone, and I'm back to using my camera on my computer because at least I know it works and I can do it. And I wanted to talk about magic and miracles and how incredibly wonderful our life can be when we let go of fear. On the one hand, we have fear. On the other hand, we have love. Fear contracts, love expands. To me, it's all about perspective. Do you feel loved? One of my favorite things I tell people is you are love, you are loved, you are lovable, and you swim in a sea of love. When we don't believe that, when we're afraid of out there, with what's going on in the world these days, it's very easy to slip into fear. And it's based on our filter system, our beliefs, our agreements, our assumptions, and our attitudes. If we change those, our world changes. I talk about paradigms. There's the paradigm that society is based on, which is pretty much domination. Better than, less than, right, wrong. There's rules, there's up, there's down, and symbolically, it's represented by a line. On the other hand, I talk about dominion. And in dominion, if you look it up in the dictionary, what it means and how I define it, a little bit different. But dominion symbolically is a sphere. And it's all about perspective. We all stand on different points in the sphere, so we see things differently. When we embrace that paradigm, we can see perfection. Even the crazy people, even the mean people, all of the people, everybody is perfect. Whatever is perfect. And we can just adjust our perspective to have a different experience. We can move to a different place in the sphere. I live in Hawaii, on a big island. And last year it was pretty dicey because the volcano was just eating up lots of land. It's odd because ever since I've lived here, the volcano has been active, but it's taking a nap right now. Magic. I've studied with shamans all over the world. And part of what's true for me is magic and miracles. And when magic and miracles aren't part of my life, I can rest assured that I've slipped into fear again. And as soon as I notice that, I can change my perspective and change the outcomes. So what is it you want more of in your life? What is it you want less of? If you say, whatever, I don't want that anymore. What you're really saying to the universe is, bring it on, give me more. Because the universe, energetically, negatives don't register. Like if I say to you, whatever you do not think about a red fire truck. You probably weren't thinking about a red fire truck before I said, don't think about a red fire truck. And ironically, here in Hawaii, our fire trucks are yellow. And I used to have my office in Honolulu, and one night I was talking about red fire trucks, and I could see the street, and a red fire truck drove by. There aren't red fire trucks in Hawaii. And so I just kind of chuckled, and I was like, yep, don't think about a red fire truck. There goes one. So we spend an inordinate amount of time focusing on what we don't want, so we get more of it. And part of magic and miracles is really feeling what it is that you do want. If you want more love in your life, rather than, when I finally get a partner, then it's like, love yourself now. Let yourself see all the evidence of love in your life. And it's like I used to get very impatient in the grocery stores, and I have a tendency to run in and just get a few items, so I'd always be in the express lane, and I'd sit there and I'd count, and sometimes people would have 12 items in a 10 or less lane, and I would find myself getting irritated, and I really got to the point where I hated going to the grocery store. And then one day I decided, well, I can keep counting, or I can just bless the people. I can send love to the people in line. And a special love to the people that are in such a hurry that they go in a express lane when they have more items. And I can let go of judgment. I can let go of this is right and that's wrong and all that stuff. So what if you practiced loving kindness to yourself first, then to the people around you, and then to the world at large? Recently, as I'm making this video, we've had a bunch of shootings, where people go and I never quite understood it, but they go and they start shooting at people in a Walmart or at a festival or just in a area of restaurants. And they kill people. And from their place in the sphere, that makes sense. From my place in the sphere, not so much. And part of Magic and Miracles is I took a group to Egypt one time. And 6 months before, I called up the woman that had put together the tour. And I said to her, we have to go a day early. And she was like, I can't do that. I have everything arranged. And I was like, well, either we go a day early or I'm going to cancel the trip. So she rearranged everything and we got there a day early. And we were driving around, with the tour guides, and they were speaking in English to one another, and then all of a sudden they switched. And I would hear, foreign language, and then New York. And when we got back to the hotel, I turned on the TV onto CNN, and the Egypt Air flight that we had just taken, I guess it was the co-pilot, flew it into the ocean. Everybody died. And they shut down the airline for a number of days. So if we had gone a day later, we wouldn't have been able to go. And so we went a day earlier, and it was really odd knowing that we sat waiting for that flight, and we were scheduled on the other flight, and we lived. And everybody called home except me, because I figured my father had my flight information. And when I called him 2 weeks later, he was breathless because for 2 weeks he thought I was dead. And, to me, that's just an indication of, I didn't want to experience crashing into the ocean. Didn't seem like a wonderful idea to me. I didn't have that conscious thought when I changed the flight, but I'm glad I listened to my little voice. And how many people were waiting for that flight and just had an odd feeling, but didn't listen to it. And I have a suspicion there were people that missed that flight, and we're very glad that they did. So, Magic and Miracles, the more we align with love, the more we align with our spirit, the more magical our life becomes. And lack of is just an indication that, in that area, it's time for me to expand my energy. Imagine what your life would be like. And imagine it big and glorious and wonderful. And then feel that energy on a regular basis. When you wake up in the morning, Thich Nhat Hanh is one of my favorite authors, and he suggested putting a sign over your bed saying smile. Think joy. And so do something to remind yourself first thing in the morning to think joy. Maybe have the dream of what you want written down someplace and read it on a regular basis. You are a magical being of love and light and laughter. And you live in a world that's based on dominion. Or you live in a world based on domination and you experience lack and limitation and fear. Choice is yours. When I watch the news, I can get caught up in the news and I can go to a place of judgment. Or I can watch the news and send, here we call it aloha, the energy of love and expansion. And this Hawaiian woman I studied with, she said, there's just some areas that need a lot more love. And so, I just send them a lot more love. So, send yourself, allow yourself to receive the love that abounds around you. Just allow yourself to just experience how awesome you are. And I'm going to start making regular videos. They may be with my webcam. I may get the programs working on my iPhone. I'm not sure. But Procrastination. I learned years ago a way to move beyond procrastination is to make a list of 3 things. 3 small things that you really commit to doing that day. And if you have to get up at midnight because you didn't finish one, you get up and you do it. And I was rigorous about that for a while, and then I thought I was over procrastination until I procrastinated about making videos. So for what it's worth, don't procrastinate about having the life of your dreams. It's yours for the asking. Until next time, I send you a great deal of love. And remember, the only thing that's real is love. Everything else is an illusion. And you are loved. You are lovable. You swim in a sea of love. And that's all there is, unless we block it with our fear. So surrender to love and see what happens. And until next time, aloha.